So in this video, I'm going to reveal the true secrets behind the new apostles from Ragnarok.
Let the challenge begin.
While Jinwoo and the rulers were able to stop a full-on assault, some of the Itarim's underlings, known as the Apostles, were able to slip through to Earth. And just like the latter, they can take complete control of a human vessel. The only issue is they can't take control of a body until given consent, meaning most of the time these guys have to use some emotional manipulation to get what they want. The reason for them being weaker though is that other Itarims have different ways of splitting their power, while Jinwoo's absolute being chose to have 7 monarchs and 7 rulers. The outer gods instead chose millions of pawns or thousands. Furthermore, their power gets fragmented as they fall into Earth. One of the first glimpses of an apostle we witness is the one that possesses Thomas Andre. Now there is TL from the manhwa, but I don't really want to get into that canon in this video right now. They're 2 different canons, so we're just gonna go over the light novel one. The apostle who possesses Thomas Andre seems to be one of the stronger ones, with blue wings and immense strength. Thomas, being the strongest hunter in the world and one with an indomitable will, was actually able to resist this possession due to Suho coming in clutch with the Echo Forest's Spring of Purification, which gets rid of the outer god's mana corruption. After winning this mental tussle, Thomas absolutely embarrasses the apostle, coming out with not only a W, but also realizing he can get back his national level hunter powers as he absorbs the apostle's mana. Second, we have the apostle of the Mad Tyrant. This apostle possessed Christopher Reed, a former rank 3 national level hunter, and turned him into the priest of the Itarims. He was part of a scheme to strengthen former top hunters by making them puppets of the apostles using a religious organization called the Outer Gods Cult. However, after learning about this, an awakened Thomas Andre quickly fought him and killed him. Third, we have the Apostle of Paradise, who was sent to Earth to transform it into a paradise for the Itarims by altering the environments and corrupting its inhabitants. He arrived on Earth in a meteorite, which had been fragments of his power. He was going around planting elverwood all around the Earth, which sucks all life out of the environments, making it perfectly habitable for the Itarims. However, my guy was trying to turn Yangpyeong, the home of Jinwoo's parents and sister's hospital, into his base. He would also use abandoned orphans as fuel for his project. However, Suho, his grandpa and mother, show up and beat this fool to oblivion. One breath of destruction and all of Bro's corrupted land, it's cooked, it's gone. The final blow was delivered by Cha Ha-ain, as she uses her storm of white flames to slice this fool in half, while Grandpa Hwan countered the apostle's dimensional abilities so he couldn't escape. But even still, with 2 top-tier S-rankers and Suho fighting, this rat somehow managed to slip past them. But fear not, as Liu Zhigong ambushed him and ate his spirit for lunch, which massively boosted the former second strongest hunter's own powers. However, there is also a human side to these apostles as well, as we learn through the Paradise's relationship with Russia's strongest hunter and their dictator Yuri Orlov. You see, Yuri was an orphan, which made the apostle feel an odd sense of kinship with him, because the apostle's own parents are the Itarims, who really only saw them as pawns and demanded absolute obedience, never feeling the warm embrace of a parent, just like an orphan. They worked together to spread the Outer Gods' influence in Russia, creating flower pots in every city, and slowly moved their operation to North Korea, which had turned into a country-sized dungeon where some other Outer Apostles had made their bases. One of them would be the Apostle of Evolution. He is by far the most unique and terrifying apostle of all of them, because his goal was not simply destruction or conquest, but experimentation and forced evolution. Unlike other apostles who focused on battle, he was obsessed with achieving immortality and replicating the powers of the Shadow Monarch. His first goal was to find a suitable vessel, but he encountered a problem. Human bodies were way too weak to contain his essence. Many humans died instantly when he tried to take control of them, but he eventually found a solution, possessing a recently deceased old man, reviving him in what seemed like a miracle resurrection. This event led to the birth of the foreign religion cult, as people believed he was some sort of divine being or god. He conducted experiments on humans, attempting to make them immortal, but failed to create souls, only lifeless husks. The reason for this observation hints at a deeper transformation taking place in the multiverse influenced by Jinwoo and his universe. The Apostle of Evolution was not just another follower of the Outer Gods. He questioned his own creator and sought to surpass even the divine beings that made him. His internal struggle revolved around his belief that true evolution should not have limits, and if gods themselves could die, then they were not true truly gods. If the Itarims he worshipped were so divine, then how could someone from their race die, like the absolute being? And that's the kind of reason for this video being titled All Gods in Solo Leveling, because in reality there are no gods introduced. There are these beings who can be seen as gods, but when you really zoom into their dedicated realms of power, but even the absolute being's authority only reached as far as his own pocket dimensions. Hence the Apostle of Evolution became obsessed with the Shadow Monarch Sung Jinwoo after seeing his immortal army. Instead of seeing Jinwoo as an enemy, the Apostle saw him as the pinnacle of evolution, as a being who could create an army that never truly died. This idea directly conflicted with the teachings of the Outer Gods, who believed in controlling and sacrificing their servants rather than making them immortal. From that moment, he began his secret experiments, attempting to replicate the Shadow Monarch's powers. As he experimented and grew stronger, the Apostle of Evolution began to believe that he himself could evolve beyond the Outer Gods, and for the first time, he saw himself not as a mere servant, but as something greater. He no longer wanted to serve his masters, he wanted to replace them. Rather than offering his discoveries about the monarchs and rulers to his masters, the Apostle secretly planned to claim the power of the fallen monarchs for himself. This was honestly blasphemy of the highest order, but his ambition outgrew his faith. Eventually, his experiments led to the creation of Number 47, a humanoid weapon that could regenerate but lacked a soul. He also distributed failed weapons to various individuals, including Wu Chin-chol, without them realizing the true origin of them. Suho also tracked down the Apostle of Evolution while he was in North Korea and discovered that his real body was just a brain inside of a test tube. The Apostle, fascinated by Suho's abilities, revealed his experiments and his ultimate goal to create a true immortal army like Jinwoo. Suho realized that this Apostle had lived far too long. His research would eventually succeed, making him a dangerous future enemy. So in response, the young lord destroyed the Apostle's illusions and attacked his real body. The Apostle, unfazed by his impending death, revealed that his final experiment was already complete, hinting at an even greater threat to come. Suho destroyed the Apostle's original brain, but his essence transferred into a new form, the Apostle of Nightmare. Now, instead of focusing on science, his new ability allowed him to turn reality into a nightmare, merging dreams with the physical world. Okay, so I just gotta pause for a second. Really? Like, Apostle of Nightmare? Bro is literally just trying to be the Shadow Monarch at this point. However, if we actually go back to his stats, in this state, physical and magical attacks have no effect on him, making him essentially invincible. Even Beru was helpless against the Apostle's Nightmare realm. The Apostle of Nightmare infiltrated Circa's dream, trying to steal the power of the Lord of Frost, as Sid mentioned earlier. However, Suho entered the Nightmare realm, interrupting the Apostle's plan. The Apostle believed that in this Nightmare world, Suho would be powerless. He demonstrated complete control over the environment, summoning void sharks, creatures that devoured everything in the abyss. Suho reminded him of a critical mistake, that what he ruled was nightmare, not darkness, because it isn't his to control. Using his daddy's shadow realm, Suho erased the Apostles' control over the Nightmare world, revealing that darkness belongs to him Wu alone. With his Nightmare realm collapsing, the Apostle attempted to flee, but was cornered by Suho and Beru. Suho revealed that the Apostle's final experiment, his ultimate weapon, was already failing, proving that he had failed to surpass the Shadow Monarch. In the end, Beru consumed the Apostle's remaining brain, effectively erasing him forever. And that's everything we know about solo leveling and all the different deities and gods in the universe. If you enjoyed this, then watch the video on screen right now about the real god of the multiverse, Sung Jinwoo, and how strong he is.